Hello and welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast. I'm Michael Sheridan. On today's show, Mary dreams of men stealing items from her house next door. What is that about? It's quite an interesting analysis. And Ashley, however, dreams of having relationships with men that she knows in reality, but for one reason or other, they would be unavailable to her, but not in her dreams. What is that about? And we finish the show today with a beautiful song from Nadia Tarnowski. She sings a song from Ukraine, and it's about how truth is often crushed and how untruth is honoured with glasses of wine. And it's a 400-year-old song, but it could be written for any time. Absolutely amazing. All right, well, welcome to the show. Why do we do dreams? This show is all about life transformation through dream interpretation. And dreams are the message from your higher self to your soul. And by interpreting our dreams, we are we're eavesdropping on what your higher self considers to be the most important thing in your life at this moment in time. What is your higher self saying to your soul and why? And when we eavesdrop, when we interpret those dreams, we then know what it is the most important thing for you to do in your life right now. That's why we do this. That's why we should all be looking at our dreams, because they are the most important message you're going to get from anybody at any time in your life. The most important. And so I always say it, through analyzing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. But I'm very specific about that. I tell you what your gifts are, what your powers are, and what's holding you back from those powers. What are the bumps in life in the way? But these bumps are not in the way, even though that's what it seems. They are the way. And that's another beautiful thing that our gifts, our dreams reveal. So if you want to get your dream analysed on the show, go to dream-analysis.com and you can submit your dream there, or you can download my dictionary, and it's all free. It has thousands of symbols in it, and you can attempt to interpret your own dreams. And many people who send dreams to the show do. And if they make the attempt, I will always pick their dreams over other dreams. That's just a reward for showing how interested you are in your dreams. So let's start off. We have a couple of questions. Teresa says, I have a recurring dream of a telephone ringing. A couple of nights ago, the ring was so loud it woke me up. My phone is not near my bedroom, and even if it did ring, I usually can't hear it from my bedroom. So that's a simple one. It's not really a question, it's a dream. But why do we have those dreams? It's your guides, your angels are trying to get your attention. Not for anything bad, but they're just trying to get your attention. The same way anybody who wants you to come out or get your attention at the door is going to ring the doorbell or call you in reality. That's what it is. So dreaming of it is your higher self and your guides and angels trying to get your attention. So something important. It's kind of a common dream. It's a really good dream to have. Her next question is, again, it's kind of a dream. I recently sold the house I was brought up in, and I've been having dreams about it ever since. In one dream, I went back to the house and let myself in and started taking things out that I had left there. In another dream, I was in the house and slept in the living room, and in the morning, I looked out the window and saw a truck that belonged to the person that bought the house, and he came downstairs with his brother and came into the living room. I apologized to him for being there, and I said, you own the house now, not me. He didn't get upset or say anything about me sleeping there. Okay, well, I include this because this dream shows how we are. We scatter our energy and our focus. We just do it as humans. And a lot of the time it's normal, and it's just part of moving on or grieving. Like when you sell your childhood home, you're going to grieve over that, regardless of what your experience in that home was. And I dare say that's what it is about for you, Teresa. It's because you've just sold it, even if you haven't been living in it. If you sell it, you're going to have memories coming up, and those memories then are going to be used to form the basis of dreams for you. But what about dreaming of the house you grew up in long after you've sold it, or long after you've moved out of that house and moved on, maybe live in a different country even? Well, that's completely different, and that's more common for people who send dreams to the show. That shows that you're still carrying influences from the time when you were there, and there's going to be context in the dream that gives you not clues, but specifics about what's going on. What are you still carrying? What influence are you still carrying? It's quite often to do with how mom and dad treated you, particularly how they welcomed your arrival onto the planet or welcomed you into the family. And we see that over and over and over again. So dreaming about your child at home, absolutely, up there in the top 10 list, probably at the very, very top. But thanks for sending your questions in, Teresa. You also asked, do we have a course coming up? Well, we do. April 2nd. We have our mini course, The Spiritual Dimension of Dreams, and April Angel is running that. So another question. This one comes in from Kay. She says, hi Michael, my husband was hospitalized for a very serious case of COVID-19 in December. He was in the hospital for almost a whole month and was very near to death several times. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that, Kay. It was a very scary and stressful month. He did pull through though and is recovering at home now. Weirdly, during this whole time, I didn't dream one tiny bit. I normally dream all the time with great detail. I didn't have one single dream until he came home. I thought that was very strange, and it seems like a person would have more dreams during something like this. Any thoughts? Well, it can go two ways, Kay. And I wrote and I asked Kay if she was allowed to visit her husband during his hospitalization. What was she doing differently and how well was she sleeping? And I point out, because this is true, stress and overworking can inhibit dream recall. You still have the dreams, but you jump so fast from the dream state to the awake state because you have so much on your plate and you're worried about so many things that you leave the dreams behind, and you leave them behind fast and then don't have the memory of them. It's the slow waking up out of bed that makes us have dreams, which is why when we're on vacation is usually when we all have a prolific number of dreams. And Kay's response was that she was allowed to visit him after 14 days. She says, my sleep was really disrupted, waking a lot to check my phone for calls, trouble falling back asleep and waking up ridiculously early, like 4 a.m. I was also really isolated from the rest of my family and very checked out due to stress, which is what I said. Usually when my sleep is disrupted, I have lucid dreams, so I was surprised that I didn't remember a single dream the whole time. Stress/overwork, stopping dreams makes sense though. Kind of a fight or flight response, maybe reserving energy for survival. Well, it's really not fight or flight. It's just that all your energy is in the waking world and you are focused on your husband and his well-being, and did you miss any calls, got to check, etc., etc., etc. So you're waking up very fast and having this disrupted sleep, and that's all that caused it. Stress, major stress. I mean, it's not that that's simple. Major stress. Okay. So here's one of the dreams I teased at the start. And this one is from Mary. And she's concerned because she says, I've heard you say that bread can be a symbol for dead. And is this something I should be concerned about in my dream? Well, let's have a look. Here's the dream. It is nighttime. There are bad guys stealing items from the house I own next door. I hear them and I see them. Anything not locked up or tied down, they take. They're even removing roof tiles. I call 911, but she says it may be 111 in my dream. And the woman on the other end of the line sounds so casual. I'm saying, are you going to call the police or not? This is urgent. Please put me through to the police. But she doesn't. Okay, that's not good. Well, it seems like it's not good, but I'm going to come back to it. Then it is daytime, bright, and I'm upstairs in a 2-story block. There is a lot of light coming in through the windows. There are people in each room. Each person has their own small room. I have a room at the end of the hallway with my husband. I tell him the bad guys are coming. I have met them downstairs. They're out on the road. I let a couple of the men in other rooms. I know. They're out on the road. I let a couple of men in the other rooms know too. So she lets them know about the bad men. That's what it is. One of them has a sword type of weapon. The others have advice and are happy to help. I go downstairs and the bad guy has arrived. Oh no, the bad guy has sort of invited himself for dinner. It's evening, it's nighttime now. How bad for somebody to invite themselves for dinner. The bad guy brings a loaf of bread and instructs me to go inside and cut it in half. I am so nervous and just break it in half. He comes in and I immediately know he wanted me to cut it in half through the middle lengthways, which I presume is not what you do. Okay, so here's what it's about. You're worried about the bread, so let's just go straight to that. The bread is about financial gain. Think of the phrase, who earns the bread in your family. So this is about someone who's either a business partner or who was offering you something that could make money that you must then share with them somehow. As the dream shows, he is bringing the money to you because he brings the bread and he wants you to split it with him. And now there's negatives in this. I mean, this part sounds good the way I'm saying it, but not really. But you don't need to worry. There is time to fix this. Dreams show the energetic pattern that you have that allows this to happen. And this ultimately comes down to difficulties with sharing yourself, being emotionally open, heart on your sleeve, that kind of thing. You don't want to do that, and you mistrust people who want you to be open. And that's the persuasive message in the dream, and is shown by people helping themselves to your stuff. This is really common. So dreams of being robbed and so on are all about that. That it's not negative, but it feels negative. It's like, I feel like I've been violated because that jerk made me tell him how I feel and what's going on for me. Anyway, where was I here? The woman on the phone. Oh yeah, forcing you to split the bread is the other thing. The people helping you to helping themselves to your stuff is bad, and then forcing you to split the bread. It's all about sharing. So the cure is to heal where this issue comes from. And the woman on the phone who won't put you through to the police is both good and bad, but she's really mostly good, and that's what I'm going to focus on. She doesn't want you to stop sharing. And again, the sharing is seen as thieves helping themselves to your stuff. She doesn't want you to ask your guides to stop it either, and that's all good, even if it seemed horrible. Now, you need to work on the issues that have you this way. Normally, I would say work on mom, but I don't think that is the full picture for you. You need to heal issues around another individual or a couple. And I'm not 100% on this, so I'm going to send you a link to call me, and we will work it out on the phone. But your guides have showed that this almost as an event, that you are one way up until this event and then you change. Maybe because you got burned, whatever it is, it's not a nice feeling. And when I run my healing courses, I include a session with a woman called Elizabeth Rose. She's been on the show before. Because you never know what might come up. So I can cover everything that are in dreams. I can channel a lot to tell you what's going on that's past the dreams. But you might have questions that are just unrelated to any of the dreams you have. And Elizabeth is great at that. But another thing she's really good at is about helping you clear entities and keep your space clear. But you need that clearing too. And rather than say exactly why it's the case, I'm going to send you the link to book me and talk about your dream. And you can ask me questions and I can channel on it during that point. And that's true for anybody whose dream I do. You're always welcome to get in touch with me and say, can we get on the phone? And you have to do it within a week or two of hearing your dream done on the show, of when it airs, so that it's fresh in my mind. And say, can we cover this dream that you covered? Now, she calls that dream Bad Guys for Dinner, and it all seems negative. And there is a lot of negatives in it too. We see a lot of anger. We see, like the guy with the sword, that's an angry symbol. But we do also see that you say that you have, there's windows, lots of light coming in through the window. So you have an intuitive ability, which is going to be connected to your ability to keep your heart open, or not protect your heart is probably a better way to put it, because it's all to do with feminine energy, and sharing, being open is all feminine energy too. So you've got that, and that's ultimately what it's about. And we see the men then in the dream as kind of like the antagonists for what the dream is about. So is there anything else I wanted to cover in it? I think that's good. It seems negative, but it's not as bad as it is, but you do need to work on it. Let's just leave it at that. I have another dream. This one is from Abby. She says, I was in a shop looking for a gift to give my niece Alyssa. I found a green crystal. I can see it clearly in my mind. It was pretty light green with some brown spots, and the name seemed like it may have been garnet. My sister said, I think carnelian would be good for her as well. I said, I was thinking of that too. And that's the dream, the whole dream. So Abby, this is about you giving the gift of an open heart to yourself at the age of your niece. So how old was the niece? Because that's when you put protections up around your heart and you need to drop them. It is also counseling. So you're giving yourself the gift of counseling. You have that gift. You have the gift of counseling, and you can use it to help people, including Alyssa. And I looked up her carnelian, and they're reddish. So the color combination red and green, is also about the heart. But again, when I say the heart, I mean emotions and sharing yourself and so on. But because it also has orange in it, it's healing for your digestive system too. And then you ask specifically, am I meant to work with crystals? And the answer is yes. Your guides say yes. You sure are meant to work with crystals. Also, what else can we see in this stream? Because you're picking out a gift, you're giving a gift to somebody, you are a guide. So well done, you. And I'm looking for the dream that I said I was going to talk about. Here we go. Here's the dream from Ashley. Her comments are, Ryan was an intern at my company and I supervised him. 20 years younger than me, he was a tall, attractive young man, and I remember dreaming about having a sexual relationship with him. Eventually we lost touch and I haven't seen him in over 20 years. And that she says, as an aside, I had a fairly similar dream, because she gave me this other dream that I'm going to cover. And here's another dream that took place at the hotel I was heading to. She says, I was in the hotel reception area with Matthew McConaughey, and we were good friends. Then he says something about a previous incident that happened in our dream relationship. And I remember in the dream, the earlier dreams about relationships, and I realized that he really loves me. Well, I can tell you this one is about your channeling ability, because that's what Matthew McConaughey would be about, because he's an actor. He's told what to say, and channels are told what to say. And because you say you're in the hotel reception, it says that it really comes down to how you were received at the start of your life, the reception from mom and dad. Dad here, because it's a man, you need to do some work on that, but that's okay. We all do. But why am I saying it's okay? It's not okay. You need to do the work. But just because this is kind of an aside dream, it's okay. It's really just showing that you have the gift. And you've done it before. You've been here as a channel before. You've channeled in previous lifetimes. That's what the previous relationships are going to be about. So here's the dream. Here's the big dream in question, and the one I teased. She says, my friend Sharon persuades me to go to a party at a remote wooden shack home at the edge of the forest. When we enter, to the left is a group of men around a bar. Yeah, interesting. Group of men around the bar. Okay, so that first part is about elimination system issues, because we have the wooden shack at the edge of a forest. So the forest on its own would say that, and the wooden shack is definitely saying that to us too. You say, when we enter, to the left is a group of men around a bar. That's not a good scene. So that's kind of like dad falling down on the job. He's just drinking, or he's suppressing his nature. To the right is a group relaxing in a sitting area. So you're a spiritual leader. We know you've got that skill. Ryan, here's the Ryan, a young man with whom I've had previous dreams, comes and starts chatting Sharon and I up. He asks me to leave the party and go to another location. I decline, leaving him with Sharon, and start heading back to the hotel. But before I arrive, I change my mind and head back up to meet up with him. So, okay, so it's good that you do that. So the first part is my reception, because it's a hotel reception, and a party is all about birth as well. So we know it's birth because of the party. And you meet this guy, and you like him. We know you like him because you told us you like him. And he asks, hey, let's go somewhere. In other words, to get more intimate. And you decline. So it's about you pushing away your connection with your masculine energy right at the start of life. Same as the first dream that you shared with Matthew McConaughey. Also about the start of life and your reaction to dad's reaction, how dad received you. So here anyway, you decline, but then you decide to go back. Oh yeah, and you do say it's a hotel. So it is how you received. You say, I start going down a set of stairs, then stop and stand in front of an above the ground swimming pool that is filled with white channels instead of roped off lanes for swimmers to swim in. So you're a channel. We know that because of Matthew McConaughey. We know that you got to work on issues with dad in order to improve your channeling because of that last dream. And then here we have it just called out directly in this dream. The pool is filled with white channels. I can't even imagine that. What's a white channel in a dream? But there it is. Brian appears in front of me. It says Brian. Do you mean Ryan? I'm going to say Ryan. Ryan appears in front of me along with 3 of his menacing guy friends. I don't like that they're menacing. So this is a combination. What we tend to see in dreams when you have issues around a person, we'll see people with the same gender who are positive and other ones who are negative. And that's the the conflict you have, having to like, I need to accept my masculine side, but I got to deal with the things that make me not like it, that make me reject it, and so on. And so he's in there to as the antidote, and the other guys are just there because that's your actual view, not a good view of men. And of course, if you don't have a good view of men, I'm not knocking you for that. That's because of your experience and because of the way Dad was and other things that have happened in your life. And you're meant to have that view until you heal the issues that gave you that view. Anyway, 3 of his menacing guy friends. So that's going to bring you back to that age 3. So birth to age 3 so far is what we're covering. And I tell him that we should break off our relationship. Oh, no, 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 because you changed your mind. So what happened here? Is it because of the 3 friends who were menacing? So again, this is you breaking off your relationship with your masculine side. Don't want to be doing that. He becomes extremely angry and threatens to blackmail me. He pulls out his phone to show me the photos he is threatening to use, but the photos are innocuous, funny, charming, and sweet. I look at the photos and I'm utterly charmed, happy and laughing, as they remind me of the past dreams I had of us in our previous, and she says air quotes, dream relationships. And she says, and these are dreams I actually do remember having. He gets more and more angry, but I am so overcome with happiness and start telling, something's missing here, telling him, I guess, then singing to him, I will always love you. And my voice sounds as angelic as Dolly Parton's. So that's good. That's really good. So this is about you loving your masculine side, but you don't want to break off the relationship. You want to get back in with it. The issues are all around Dad, so we want you to fix those issues. Please, 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 because you need to work on the issues, heal the issues around Dad. Dad's anger, because we see a lot of anger in the dream. Now, sometimes we can see men showing up in a dream representing Mom, but I'm going to stick with Dad because it's easier to describe it that way. You say, then I awaken in the dream. So that's really good. Awakening in a dream is about you becoming aware of yourself. And I hear Dolly's voice overtake mine, and the song continues. His presence dissipates, then swirls into a cloud of pink and blue light strands that eventually go away. I lay in my bed, eyes still closed, and awaken while contemplating the dream. I begin to see, while my eyes are closed, the faces of all these men before me. I'm not afraid, but I sense that their presence is unwanted. I begin to say in my mind, I cast you out in the name of Jesus Christ. So it gets very religious here, doesn't it? Some are more persistent than others, and so I repeat, I cast you out in the name of Jesus Christ, again and again, and eventually even repeating the verse out loud. Once they're all gone, my eyes still closed, I'm lying under a vast expanse of stars. So I like it. I like what you do. I like what you do at the end, and I like the fact that you push these men away and you invoke Jesus to do that. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because he's not going to push anybody away that should be in your life. So it's all about healing the issues around Dad. That's what you need to do in order to bring in this positive masculine energy, because positive masculine energy is all about balance, support, feeling safe and secure. But not just because you have set things up for that way, but just like, no, I feel good. I feel I could take on anything in my life. I could take a risk and it'll work. It's all good because I'm good. The opposite of that is feeling insecure and feeling like you have to control things in order to get that sense of security. Feeling like you have to do things on the outside of your life in order to feel secure on the inside of your life. And so masculine energy gives you that in spades without you having to do anything externally. So heal the issues around Dad. That's what your dream is about. And the relationships are very good. And you don't want to break off the relationship with that young guy. And why do you have him? Because you broke it off when you were younger. That's really what it's about. So now I'm going to switch over to an interview I recorded already with Nadia. It's very short, and then she's going to sing us an absolutely beautiful song. So do enjoy it. It's not that long, but I love it. It's very haunting. So when you're watching what's happening back home and you then say, I'm going to sing a song, does the song take you into a different place, or what does it do?
Well, that's a great question, actually, and that was one of the things that I was like, okay, what can I do here? And that was one of the things. It was like, okay, we're going to sing for Ukraine every day, and then that's the energy that I send forth. Is truly we send sacred songs to Ukraine every day.
And what's the essence of this song? What is it about?
The essence of this song, it's an old song, the essence of this song is about truth and untruth, and there are many, many verses. We didn't do all of them, but it's what we would call a comparison song, where truth always ends up in some unsavory situation, and untruth ends up masquerading as truth. But then the last two verses of the song is where you find hope, because it says, those of you who know what the truth is, you're the ones who will receive blessings from on high, because God himself is truth. And he knows what is real and what is not real. And what is not real will be crushed and will disappear. And what is the truth and those who are holy will remain. And that's where the hope is.
All right. Well, I thank you for that. And we're going to close the show out with you singing the verses you selected from this song. And we're going to put the words up on the screen.
Нема в світі правди не зіскати, бо тепер неправда стала же правдою зватись, що вже тепер правда ногами топтають, а вражу неправду мед вином напувають. А хто тую правду буде поважати, тому сошле Господи з неба благодаті. Бо сам Господь правда сокрушить неправду, сумирить гординю, вознесе святиню.